What's going on, guys? It's Modern, back with another episode of Road to the Top. Our goal for today is to not play a Big Six team, and usually you would go and say, why wouldn't you want to go and play against Big Six, even though I do have a decent matchup at least. It's not because I don't like the matchup, it's actually because that's pretty much all I've played against for the past few episodes, so... right now, I think rating-wise, I'm in the 1820s, and I'm in the top 10 for the U.S., so that's pretty cool. I think I have to get up to like 1850 to be the top 10 in the world. And yeah, the reason that I'm saying I don't want to face any Xerneas teams is because, like, first of all, I'm in the high ratings, so a lot of players are actually using the Big Six team. And then, like, I don't know. I think it's just boring to watch me play against Big Six all the time. But yeah, we're gonna try our best to not play against a Big Six team. If we do, that's fine. We're gonna have to do basically like the same exact thing that we always do against the Big Six. Like, I don't know. I just don't want to have another boring episode. I want to record something at least slightly more interesting than normal. I know my team, I usually bring a very standard setups. Usually it's like one of either like Kangaskhan Yveltal, Salamence Yveltal, Salamence Thunderous leads with Groudon and either Yveltal or Cresselia in the back. That's like, I think that's something like 95% of all my leads are one of those three, and then in the back it's always just like either my restricteds if I don't lead Thundurus, or if I lead Thundurus, and then if I don't lead Thundurus, I have Cresselia in the back. So, yeah, I know I know this can get boring, but I'm gonna try my best. Like I said, I want to try and see if we can find someone who's not using the Big Six team. All right. Oh God, Bulbasaur, United States player, 1488 rating. Okay, but this isn't too bad. So Thundurus is really, really good here. My opponent's team is Ludicolo, Meowstic, Dialga, Mawile, Kyogre, and Thundurus. So Thundurus and Groudon are extremely strong here. Most likely, I'm just going to bring Salamence to this match because there's really no reason not to. And I also think I'm going to lead off with Groudon as well. The reason being is that, I don't know, because they could lead Mawile too. I might go Salamence, Thundurus, Yveltal, Groudon. Actually, no, I don't think I want to lead Thundurus, because I have Swagger instead of Taunt. I think Salamence, Yveltal, Groudon, and Cresselia, I guess. Yeah, because, like, if I lead Thundurus, the thing is that since I don't have Taunt, and even if, like, let's say they have Mental Herb or something, even if I did have Taunt, they could potentially have that. And I think the Cresselia will just be slightly better against their own Thundurus. Most likely we're going to see Mawile, their restricted Pokemon, and then Ludicolo, I'd imagine, as I actually lead Mawile and Dialga here. So, I think straight off the bat, what I want to go for is a... what do I even want to go for? I could just go for a switch into Groudon and a Fire Blast. But the issue is then they could just bring in their own Kyogre. Most likely, I think they're almost 100% attacking with Mawile right here. And I think they're just going to attack into Yveltal and then go for a Trick Room. So yeah, I'm going to go for a Fire Blast into Mawile and then switch into my Groudon. If they go for Trick Room, then at the very... if they go for Trick Room and a Protect, then at the very least I have Groudon in Trick Room against them. If they go for a Dragon Pulse this turn with Dialga, then I'll just get a free switch in to that slot, which I'll probably just switch in Cresselia, and then I can just sweep with Trick Room from there. Because Yveltal and Salamence doesn't do too much here. I just bring it for like the Fire Blast because it's not like my Kangaskhan's not really doing anything to their Dialga anyways. And like with the double steal, I just don't want to have to deal with that. So Yeah, we're going to switch in Groudon right here. Hopefully they don't predict that for some reason and switch into Kyogre. Um, okay, and it doesn't look like... Yeah, they didn't. Okay. So this is going good. If we miss Fire Blast and they get a Play Rough off and go for Trick Room, it's still the same situation. Okay, and they just Mega Mawile, so that's good for me. That most likely means we're just going for an attack this turn, and that means I'm actually in a decent position. Ooh, and I missed the Fire Blast! No! They go for the Dragon Pulse. No! This is literally the worst situation possible. Because I missed the Fire Blast. I mean, they're going to get a Play Rough here, and it's going to be -1, but... Oh, but it misses, so it doesn't even matter. Alright, this isn't too bad of a situation still, though. I'm not going to bring in Cresselia here, because I think that Snarl pressure is way too important. Just in case if they go, like, Ludicolo and Kyogre switch for some reason, I'm just going to go for a Snarl and a Precipice Blades here. Because most likely their Mawile isn't faster than my Groudon. And they actually stay in with both, so that's pretty risky because they could potentially be losing both of their Pokemon right here. Dialga is usually built to be pretty bulky, so it'll probably survive here. They actually have the Earth Power, but that's the reason I went for the Snarl. Doesn't do very much damage either. Precipice Blades, please connect. Dialga avoids, please! Thank you! Oh my god, that's the only one I needed to hit. And it should KO. It KOs. Okay. I was gonna say, that was like, like 2 85% misses in the first 2 turns is pretty brutal, but, okay, and they just bring in Kyogre, so I'm in a really good position. I can just spam Snarl and then bring in Cresselia right here. I mean, I will say this right now, like, Dialga Kyogre has a really bad matchup against my team, specifically because I have not only Assault Vest Yveltal, but Snarl, and that's just, like, they pretty much can't damage my Yveltal at all. And then usually in most matchups, I end up bringing, what is it? Usually in most matchups, I just bring Salamence as well because my opponents usually have Kangaskhan or Salamence or something, and in those cases, the Intimidate just makes it so Yveltal doesn't die at all. But yeah, the Snarl is going to pay off a lot here. If they just Protect and Trick Room, that's still pretty good for me, but no, they don't. Okay, so they're probably just going to attack with both, I guess. But no combination of attacks right here can actually KO Yveltal, believe it or not. They go for the Dragon Pulse onto Yveltal here, and then I assume a Water Spout. Origin Pulse, actually, so that's pretty good. Should do about 30% to Yveltal. Yeah. I mean, I have no reason not to keep going for Snarl right here. Because most likely, like, what do they even have in the back? Ludicolo, Meowstic, and Thundurus are the potential Pokemon. So, Snarl is good against all of those. Yeah, I'm just going to Snarl and switch in Groudon. Like, it seems weird that I'm just switching out sort of defensively right here, but with the Snarls, their Pokemon aren't really doing any damage. And then let's say they bring in, like, yeah, they basically have no other play right here. Snarl's doing way too much work against their team. And it's actually really good that they didn't switch out too, because now they have a -3 Dialga, they have a -2 Kyogre. Okay, Dragon Pulse, yep, they're just going for more damage. It's actually on the Groudon this time, but shouldn't do too much. And Kyogre goes for Origin Pulse, so that's sort of what we were aiming for. Yeah, and I mean, I'm still in a really good position. I think I can just go for a Snarl and a Precipice Blades this time. And you know what? I might as well just Snarl and switch out into Cresselia because I don't want to take any more damage with my Groudon. Most likely, they're probably going to switch out Kyogre here. It's really risky for them not to because, like, they could go for an Ice Beam, but their Pokemon are doing almost no damage. But they just go for Protect again, so, okay. And even a critical hit, Dragon Pulse at this point can't KO Yveltal, so, yeah, let's see. Trick Room? Nope, they go for Earth Power. That's what we were aiming for. Um, okay, so we're just slowly stalling out my opponent. I mean, in a normal tournament situation, I would be timer stalling my opponent right here, but for the sake of just recording time, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to spam Snarl. And I'm actually going to go for an Ice Beam into Dialga as well. They just stay in with both, too. Okay. And if I can KO Dialga, that puts me in a really good position because they can't get their Kyogre's Weather up. Dragon Pulse. Okay, into the Cresselia again. Does no damage. Origin Pulse from Kyogre. Yveltal avoids, but now it's -4, so like... yeah. Okay. Ice Beam comes out. This shouldn't KO. And it doesn't. So, same situation. Snarl. Ice Beam. Like, I'm just wondering at this point what their last Pokemon is. I'd imagine it's Ludicolo or Thundurus. And it's actually Thundurus, so that's pretty good for us. Snarl drops a special attack. That's really important against this Thundurus, too. Ooh, and it doesn't KO the Dialga with just a Snarl. That's actually a little bit concerning. Dragon Pulse comes out, yet again, on a Cresselia. It should knock me into Citrus Berry range. Yeah. And then Ice Beam will pick up the knockout here. So I'm actually in a position where I don't even need to worry about Trick Room. I can just go for yet another Snarl and then a Ice Beam onto the Thundurus. Because at this point, like, if they don't have Roleplay Thundurus, then they have to rely on Ice Beam to KO my Groudon. Like, I could even foul play the Kyogre, but it probably doesn't knock out. That's the reason I'm just stalling him out with Snarl. Yeah, I mean, I lose nothing for going for Snarl here. And they're not even a fast Thundurus. They're actually slower. That means they're Citrus Berry, but it also means they're not doing much damage here either. So now Thundurus is -2, Kyogre is -1. They just go for Thunderbolt. Kyogre goes for Origin Pulse. This might actually be able to knock me out here. No, not even. Okay. So they've basically lost this game. I mean... yeah, I can literally just go for Snarl and a Ice Beam again. No, I can just foul play an Ice Beam, actually. They just let me go for it. Okay, so... successfully stalled out my opponent out of basically everything. I guess that right there shows the importance of having physical attackers on your team, because even though we're in a metagame where most of the special attackers are really good and there's not very many Pokemon with Snarl, like, it's just really important to have the physical option just in case, because there's people like me who run the most irritating teams in existence, and you can't really do anything when your Pokemon have -1 billion special attack. They don't forfeit, so at least they're going for, like, the full honor play, like, I don't know, but, yeah, we're gonna win this match, so, yeah, I mean, this guy was in the 1400s, or, I don't know, he looked like he had one loss, probably, but, yeah, we're not going to lose half of our, rating because we lose to someone with a lower rank. And yeah, we're going to look for a second match. That match almost went to timer too, so despite the fact I was making really quick plays anyways, just the nature of how I was playing, going for Snarls, wow, and I only gained like 1 or 2 points there. Yeah, it was just a really stally strategy, but I had no reason to play a different way. We're going to play against Cranodactyl from Mexico, 1738 rating. I think I've actually heard of this player. Ooh, and this is a pretty interesting team. Okay, so dual primals with Sceptile. Sceptile's pretty good against everything except Assault Vest Yveltal. Their Electivire is pretty scary for my Yveltal here too, but it looks like my Trick Room mode's going to be very strong. I'm inclined to just lead with Salamence and Yveltal here, and then go for Groudon and Cresselia in the back. The reason I'm not going okay, so I think they're choosing Sceptile, Kyogre, Groudon 100% here. I would believe that they would go for the Electivire over the Landorus just because it's not weak to Cresselia, and the fact that Sceptile is Sceptile is 4 times weak, Landorus is 4 times weak. You don't want 2 4 times weaknesses at once. And then Electivire, at least, it can do some damage to Yveltal. But yeah, Groudon, Cresselia, Salamence, Yveltal. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring Kang. Because I don't think they're going to go for Landorus. It's too weak to bring Sceptile and Landorus. And they sort of need Sceptile, in my opinion, because it beats Salamence. It usually has a decent matchup against Yveltal. I just don't see them bringing Landorus and Electivire, though. If they do, then that's still fine. I have fake out pressure. My opponent was a pretty good rating, though, so I need to watch out because... Okay, and they do actually bring the Landorus this match, so that's interesting. Sort of wish I had my... Sort of wish I had my Salamence here, but I'm still in a pretty good position. I can just go for a fake out and a Snarl. The Kyogre can't pick up any knockouts through the Snarl, and I also want to figure out if this Landorus is Choice Scarf, because if it is, then I probably want to go for the plays next turn. And see, this is really important right here, because I think Kangaskhan's really expendable compared to Yveltal. And that's just because, Yveltal's so good against the Primals, and especially against my opponent's team, since they don't have any Pokemon that, really do much to Yveltal either. The only Pokemon that they had was the Electivire, so maybe they did go for that with Landorus and Electivire, but it still makes no sense, because then they have no Earthquake resists. As Landorus actually goes for Protect right here, so definitely not Choice Scarfed, at least we know that. And Kyogre also goes for a Protect of its own right here. But yeah, we're still in a pretty good position. Landorus is most likely Life Orb, I'd imagine. I mean, yeah, I think I can just go for a Snarl and a Double Edge then. Because even if they have something like Stone Edge on Landorus, which I might actually KO them with a Double Edge and a Snarl. Okay, maybe not, but unless they have Stone Edge or something, they're not really doing too much to Yveltal here. Okay, and it just barely misses it. So I was I've played against people in the past, and oh wow, and they Earth Power, so they're actually special. Oh, but Snarl, hey. Oh, and they were Life Orb. Okay, so okay, this is actually pretty good now. Kyogre goes for Scald, but we revealed the Snarl. KO's a Kangaskhan, unfortunately, but really doesn't matter here. We can just bring out Cresselia. Most likely they're just bringing out Groudon here. Yeah. And then I can go for a Foul Play into Groudon and probably... I don't know. What are the chances they double into Yveltal here? Because I might be able to get away with going for a Snarl and an Ice Beam on a Groudon here. Because if the Groudon's special, then it's not going to do any damage. And I might as well just go for, the Trick Room sweep anyways. Yeah, I think I can get away with just going for a Snarl and an Ice Beam. Because I don't want to give them the Trick Room. Yveltal is faster than even max speed Primals. Snarl unfortunately misses the Kyogre, which was the more important target here, but Snarl is at least going to knock this Groudon into range of Precipice Blades. And they do show the Fire Punch as well, so they are the physical set. And I think my Yveltal would have survived here had I hit the Snarl. I actually survive anyways, so that's still pretty good. Ice Beam's going to connect with the Groudon, do a little bit more chip damage, but at this point, I think I pretty much win the game, because I can just go for a Foul Play into Kyogre and a Trick Room. One second, gonna make sure I choose the right moves. Foul Play, Kyogre, Trick Room. Kyogre actually protects, so that's a good play, but yeah, I still get in Groudon for free here. They actually go for Rock Slide, so if I flinch, that could be pretty bad. But even then, like, yeah, I can just protect and then Trick Room again. And I do flinch, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to go for Trick Room here. Yeah, because even if they go for a Fire Punch and an Ice Beam into Cresselia, I think even a critical hit Fire Punch plus a crit Ice Beam won't even knock out. Just because I have Citrus Berry, but if they don't crit, then Cresselia is going to survive this turn with a lot of health still. Okay, they withdraw Kyogre, so that's a smart play. And they do actually have Sceptile in the back, so that's still pretty good for us. The Trick Room here just means that we can go for a Precipice Blades plus an Ice Beam the following turn. They actually do go for the Fire Punch, so that's still a pretty good play. But like I said, yeah, even a critical hit there probably wouldn't have knocked out. Cresselia still a bit above half, so that's good. And yeah, like I said, Precipice Blades, Ice Beam. It'll knock out the Sceptile. Like, the only way I actually lose in this situation is if I double miss Precipice Blades. Now, I could have potentially gone for a Skill Swap or a Gravity right here. The reason I didn't, though, is because if... Okay, and I connect. Because if they went for a Precipice Blades with their Groudon, then I would be in a pretty bad position. Because it would have hit my Cresselia, and then they could have potentially like doubled into it that turn. Now they bring in Kyogre, though, so I'm still in a pretty good position. I can just go for a Protect with Groudon and a Ice Beam onto Sceptile, I think. There's a good chance that they might just Mega Evolve here and then go for double attack and a Groudon with like an Ice Beam plus something else. Probably a Grass Knot. But I imagine this turn, they would either have to double into Groudon or like maybe double Protect with Sceptile or something. It's also pretty important that I hit an Ice Beam on the Sceptile too, because there's a chance that they might not Mega Evolve, and then they could survive like a Precipice Blades. Okay, and they don't actually Mega, so that's a pretty good play. Let's see, does Kyogre Protect? No Protect coming out. Ice Beam is going to connect with the Sceptile here, and it does around half, which is pretty good. Kyogre goes for Scald into Groudon, and Sceptile Grass Knots into Cresselia, but that doesn't do too much damage. Okay, and we're in a good position now, because I can just go for Skill Swap and a Fire Punch into Sceptile. Okay, and they just Protect, so they're just trying to stall out Trick Room at this point. But they still pretty much lose here. Like, okay, so if... I think what it comes down to, I think I need to go for a Precipice Blades once Trick Room ends, instead of trying to stall it out. Okay, they do go for Scald, though. We still have Trick Room for one more turn, though, so I'm free to just go for another... See, I want to Precipice Blade's Ice Beam, but like if I miss, I'm in a bad position. So I think I'm just gonna double into the Sceptile right here. Like, they have to go for the double protect. Fudge! But they get it. Okay. So that could actually lose me the game right there. Yeah, because now Mega Evolve plus Ice Beam, or sorry, Mega Evolve plus a Grass Knot can take me out. Okay, so this is basically a 50-50. I have no idea how this guy plays or what his playstyle is because he's been playing really randomly. So if like Grass Knot is going to KO the Groudon, but they need to target down Crest because if I get Trick Room up, then I win. So they might just go for a Dragon Pulse and a Crest and something else. I think I have to go for the safe play though. Yeah, I mean, it's a 50-50 here. Because Grass Knot's going to KO Groudon if they go for that. Like, at the very least, you know what? I probably should have just attacked. Because they can probably just... I don't know, because they have to double into one of my Pokemon to get a knockout, I think. Grass Knot into Crest, so they're probably going for the double into Crest. Alright, and I lose. So, that's unfortunate. My opponent got bailed out by hacks, but... It's a 1 in 3. It happens. It's really cheap, and it's really dumb when it happens, but there's, like I said, there's absolutely nothing I could have done about it. I went for the exact plays I should have. There was only one turn I'd say I misplayed, and that was when I Fire Punched into the Sceptile's Protect, but besides that, it didn't matter because if I got down to a Kyogre 1v1, I still won. But yeah, I'm just going to forfeit here. There's no way I can win. Like I said, it's unfortunate. It happens, though. But I really had no way to win there. After he got the double protect and after I misplayed with going for P-Blades instead of anything else. But yeah, that really sucks. That's one of the reasons this metagame sort of sucks, is because... like, there's so many situations where if someone gets a double protect, they just auto-win the game. And that was one of the situations. But yeah. That sucks. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. It's really unfortunate that we're actually definitely going to miss out on the 1800s because of that one match. Because a guy got a double protect. But, yeah. I'm obviously not the better player there. I'm being completely sarcastic. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go and leave a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to leave a dislike or you want to give me some of your criticism in the comments, please feel free to do so. It's really nice to hear what you guys want to see me do either better or differently. And if you want to keep up with all my content as we head towards Nationals and Worlds, make sure to go and check out my social media and hit subscribe. I'm ModernGamer, and thanks for watching.